The North Coast 500 is Scotland's answer to Route 66, and it's normally best done over the course of at least a few days. But can you do it in one? Welcome to Inverness, where it is precisely 4:26 a.m. and in just over 30 minutes, the sun is about to rise over that stunning scenery behind me. The challenge in this video is that we have pretty much 16 hours to drive the entire North Coast 500 route and get back to Dores Beach in Inverness to watch the sunset over Loch Ness. And as the clock hit exactly 5:06 in the morning, the sun reared its head above the horizon and signalled the start of the race. So here's the breakdown of the challenge. The North Coast 500 route is actually 516 miles long. And from the time we set off, we had to make sure we averaged 40 miles an hour around the entire route. But that wouldn't be as easy as it would first appear. You're constantly stop-start traffic, a lot of single-track minor roads, which makes up 80% of Scotland, and you're constantly having to stop to let people past, let alone any traffic, let alone any traffic lights, let alone any weather. This is actually going to be very, very close. And then let me quickly introduce you to the car that I'm taking on this challenge. This is a brand new Honda Civic. It's not actually brand new, came out in 2022, but it's my brand new Honda Civic. It is a hybrid, which I know many petrol heads at this point in the video will have switched this video off. So that leaves just us, the forward-thinking minds of the auto industry. Incredible, incredible car this. We're going to find out so much more about it on this journey. Will we manage it and get back to Dores Beach by roughly 8:30 p.m? Well, one thing I know for sure is that this Earth is rotating a lot quicker than I am driving. And that's because daylight travels around the Earth at around 1,000 miles per hour. Our measly 40 miles per hour seems insignificant in comparison, but after 1¼ hours, we travelled just 37 miles. Right, just coming past Dornoch Bridge now. We're about 30 minutes into our journey and yet somehow an hour behind. As you can see by the blinding sun, it is well and truly up and has travelled a bit further than us so far. We need to get our foot down now. Now then was the chance to check out this latest Honda Civic. Some viewers of the channel will know I owned the previous generation Civic, but got rid of it because of the vile gearbox. Now, the most annoying thing about that previous Honda was the gearbox, but with this car, it doesn't even have a gearbox. This car is averaging me 80 miles to the gallon, which means I have to do one thing a lot less regularly, which is fill up the car, which is about the most boring thing a man can do, aside from talking about how many miles per gallon his car gets. But fuel efficiency is going to come into this trip because we should only need to stop once. Realistically, this car would manage to do this on one tank of fuel, but I do not want to be dawdling around when we're up against God himself. Now, a little bit about this route. Scotland actually launched this North Coast 500 as their answer to Route 66, and what an answer it is. 2015 saw this route open. In its first year, roughly 29,000 people took part in this route, and it generated £9 million for the local economy. Over millions of people by this point will have done this route, and on a road like this, you can see why. Scotland really is the UK's racetrack. Look at these roads. We cracked on then with the hope of making good progress, but we soon ran into a problem. Right, so we're heading up to John O'Groats now, about 20–25% of the way there, and this is the exact problem that we are going to be facing. Motorhomes, camper vans, people on Sunday drives on a Friday getting in the way. Move! And that right there is going to be the problem. So much of this journey later on is single track roads where you're just constantly stopping to let people pass. These roads here are our only chance to actually make up some time.
With the motorhome navigated, our next milestone was a town called Wick, which in terms of delays was even worse.
Right, we're just coming through Wick at the moment, but temporary roadworks, traffic lights, we're only just getting through them, taking forever. Do they not know we have a race? We're in a race! And are they doing work on it? It doesn't look like it to me.
As we approached John O'Groats, the most northerly point of the UK, we were making good progress, although I was still getting distracted.
25%. Oh, that was a very badly smashed up car, but it's all right because it was a Vauxhall. 25% of the route done, roughly there or thereabouts, but it has taken us 4 hours, just over 4 hours. So that's 25%, that is over 16 hours to do this journey, which leaves us about a minute before sunset by the time we get there. I cannot stress how close this is, and I cannot stress how stressed I now am. Now, the scenery of John O'Groats, absolutely wonderful. However, tourists turn up here quite literally in their busloads, which is what ourselves and the camera crew are now stuck behind. Can we get past? Can we get past? Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Go, 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 go. Yes! If there was ever an advertisement for a car, that was it. Stuck behind now, a double whammy of traffic, roadworks, and a motorhome. We're on green. Go, go, go. Come on. This is taking forever now. So at this point in our journey, we've done 196 miles in 5 hours. The sun, or daylight in that time, has traveled 5,000 miles. This is what we're up against, and this guy in the motorhome, clearly not interested in helping our cause. Can we quickly get past him? Yes, go, 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 go. I wasn't hanging about there. He was actually letting another car past. Oh, we've nipped in front and had that. Thank goodness.
As we approached Tongue Causeway, I got to admire one of my favourite parts of the Scottish scenery and indeed this trip.
As far as the views go, it genuinely does not get much better than this.
However, one small annoyance was starting to creep in. A horrendous door rattle when you listen to music that tends to sit on the heavier side.
Right, now we can listen to actual heavy metal tunes with the bass on, without the doors rattling. Let's go. Love Gojira, me. Honestly, the views throughout this entire trip are absolutely unbelievable. Scotland has more than 30,000 freshwater lochs, which is thought to be more than any other country in the world. And what's almost more impressive is that they've done such a good job of preserving this. Over 57,000 kilometres of road in Scotland, and only 1% of them is made up of motorways. Over 80% is minor roads like this. Get out of the way!
The situation was beginning to look bleak. To complete this challenge, we needed to now make up time and average more than 40 miles an hour.
So far, we've done 6 hours, 54 minutes of driving, and we've averaged 33. We really need to get a move on now.
And that is exactly what we managed to do. We passed some stunning scenery, and it wasn't long before I managed to reach the highlight of this journey, Kyleskew Bridge.
This thing is absolutely incredible, and the views from up here even better. They started building this in 1981, opened it in 1984. It cost £4 million to design, develop and build, and yet we've just spent £40 million painting the Tyne Bridge. I am stressed. Just leaving Ullapool now, we've got 5 hours left to go, which gets us to Dores Beach just after 9 p.m. Sunset is at 9:05. And to make things worse, we've got a Dacia Sandero. Oh no! Anyway, in front of us. Here we go though, here's my chance. Go, 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 get past them. Goodbye! 60-mile-an-hour roads, and we've averaged 40 mile an hour.
We'd spent so long behind the Dacia that we really needed to make up some time. So I thought I would try out the sport mode and see how good it was.
Right, that's it. Sport mode. Go, go, go. Yes. We're ditching the crew car. Goodbye. Now, because this car will always favour the electric motors of which to drive the car, it does actually mean that it properly shifts. 0 to 60 in under 7 seconds, 6.8 if we are counting, and that is not bad for a Honda Civic without a Type R badge. Now with this car, looks can be deceiving. For all that it has a slick, stylish, understated look about it, it can absolutely punch you in the face. Oh, this car, honestly, when you do push it, again, for all that it doesn't have a Type R badge, it could certainly keep up, I have no doubt, especially on roads like this. So much more fun to drive than my previous generation Civic, which was about as fun as a bath with a toaster. This, however, whilst it has virtually no gearbox, these paddles for your regen braking has you feel so much more involved with the car. Every single corner, regen down, regen up, every single bend, every single lift, so much more involved with the car. This, honestly, is so much fun.
The sport mode managed to shave off a few minutes of our journey, which could prove crucial at the end of the day. But it had meant that I'd used a bit more fuel, and so we stopped at the next station for a quick splash and dash and got back on our way. We soon arrived at a section of this route I'd been looking forward to most of all, the valleys and mountains of Ben A.
It isn't the perfect run of road. You're stopping quite often to let people past. Oh, that was a bit tight, just as we are here. But that's almost part of the joy. You want to push in certain places. It's those little opportunities that you get. But these roads are so much fun, the ebbs and flows, the lefts and rights, and they are so much fun to drive and hopefully just as much fun to film on a drone.
We enjoyed these roads more than you can imagine, but we did spend almost a little too long there, and our camera crew told me I best get a move on because the chances of me winning this challenge were falling away quicker than daylight itself.
Okay, so sit rep, it is just before 6 p.m. and we are leaving the valleys here of Ben A, these absolutely stunning roads, but we've still got to get over to the most westerly point of the 500 route and then of course back over to Inverness. How long is it going to take us to do that? From this very point, Maps is estimating 3 hours and 20 minutes. It is 6 p.m. Sunset is 9:20. It is in 3 hours and 20 minutes. Literally now, every minute counts, every second counts, every traffic light, every passing by place, every caravan on the road, all counts. We can't have anything getting in the way now. Now, one of the things actually really hindering our progress is potholes. There's this leg of this route that is really not that well maintained or full of potholes. So bad, this part of the road.
And sure enough,
the loudest noise.
Nah, Canon, not at this stage. There cannot be a puncture.
Try one cut out, and if I feel that getting worse, then fucking hell.
Is it driving different now? Does it feel like weird when you drive it?
I think hopefully it's just a placebo, but that fucking was proper bad, that.
Now, one thing this car does not have is a pothole detection feature, but its lane keeping assist was doing a good job of making sure I hit them all.
Now that's one thing that has been slightly annoying on this trip, is the road departure mitigation safety feature has often struggled to tell what is the very end of the road, and it often thinks that I'm trying to drive off the cliff edge. Now you can disable it obviously, but who's not going to want something to help them avoid driving off a cliff edge, as it does so once again right on cue. I would rather leave it on just to be safe, because as much as that scenery is absolutely tremendous, I will do all that I can to not be part of the scenery. That is an incredible view though. Now genuinely, this trip has been something else. Most of us have grew up watching Top Gear and Grand Tour. Most of us have grew up wanting to do that as a job, or at least attempt some of those challenges, some of those road trips, those journeys. We've put our spin on the race against the sun. Inevitably, we've made it actually way more difficult. But it has absolutely been worth it.
With just 2 hours until sunset, we began our descent down Balach na Bar on the Applecross Peninsula. We didn't know it at the time, but this is actually the steepest ascent of any road in the UK, which made a lot of sense on reflection. The breathtaking views were, well, breathtaking, but sadly we didn't have any time at all to stop and admire, and it wasn't long before we were back on the main roads, honing in on our finishing point, Dores Beach of Loch Ness.
Now I know I've only had this car for less than a week, but a 16-hour round trip of Scotland is quite the speed date, and safe to say I have absolutely fallen in love with this car. Now many people would brand the Civic as a boring hatch, especially if it doesn't have a Type R badge. And whilst I can understand, I absolutely disagree, because for me, this car outperforms every hatch on the market to date. And as things stand, it's about to outperform something else as well. The sun. Now for me, a great car is a car that you can't pick faults with, or maybe you would forgive the odd thing. And that is this car. A slightly exuberant safety feature and a door that might rattle if you play the heaviest of heavy metal music. But this car here has just provided us the most epic road trip with some of the most epic scenery to match. Right, final leg of this stint now. This is where this race becomes a final sprint to the line. 9.7 miles to go. We are so close now, but so is that sunset. Oh, there is the sun. It's about to set behind that building, but is it about to set behind the views of Loch Ness? Oh, we're behind a learner. No! Learner driver, what are you doing out at 9 o'clock on a Friday night? Are we going to have to commit the cardinal sin and overtake the learner? Come on! Oh, we can see it. I can see it. It's sitting behind the trees. A Toyota Aygo. It gets worse. Oh, yes. Ben in the crew car going for the overtake. Absolute hero. Literally now, one single traffic light, one single delay, one stop too long, and we have failed. Less than 5 miles away, 7 minutes away. In the time we travel that 7 minutes and 5 miles, daylight across the earth will have traveled at least 150 miles. Oh, down to a 40, go, go, go. Final sprint to the line almost here. This is now the last leg, final sprint to the line. I've now lost the sun though. I cannot see the sun. I don't know where it is anymore, and that is not a good sign. The final mile, 2 minutes remaining. Can we still see the sun? Just, only just. Let's go, foot down, come on. There it is. There is Loch Ness. Now, many Scots would say that Scotland itself is God's country, and based on the scenery and the views that we've seen today, I would have to agree. They may call this God's country, but we have beaten God himself in his own back garden. Scotland.